this rage inside of me that I just can't wait to unleash. I'm invincible.
All right, everyone. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the official Body Spartan podcast. My name is Gabe Tuff. I'm the founder of Body Spartan and your host for the next hour. I am joined this week by a single cohort.
Well, I'm not very single.
You're not single, no. But there's only one of you because Howie's missing.
I happen to be his wife. And the first lady of Body Spartan. Woo!
We should probably clarify that you're not Howie's wife.
Good point. And also not single.
Yeah. You guys have some very funny looking children, I would imagine, with all that gingerness going around.
Why are we even having this conversation?
I don't know. It's very, very weird.
Things that are awkward.
Things that are awkward.
So basically, you're joining us on date night.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Howie's got to do
We're alone
he's
in
doing
this
some
room.
stupid stuff like getting up at 3 a.m. tomorrow or some shit like that. So he's not here, and you get the lovely, what do we want to call this? The duo?
Ooh.
The Tuft duo today? Is that what this is?
Oh, yeah. And we're about to pack on some lean muscle, baby.
So this episode is 5 ways to pack on lean muscle. But before we dive into it, we are counting down the days to Seattle. Dude, August 19th, Seattle. And let me just start by saying we thought we did a pretty good job of securing a location, but there's a certain company up there.
And a massive number of people that are beating down our doors. Well, that location is not big enough. Therefore,
they backed out at the last minute.
These others are unable to house our event.
So it's pretty cool. We got 2 locations. We're trying to decide which one to actually roll with. We will know by tomorrow night what the official location is. And with the 7-day mark on Saturday, we will have the official announcement as to where we are going to be. It will be in Seattle. It's just a matter of, can it house everybody that's coming? That's the big question.
We may or may not have a couple of really incredible surprises for you, which is another reason why we needed a facility with a larger space.
Are you saying there's a better surprise than me?
Well, of course, you are the best part of the surprise, but we do have a couple of curveballs that we're throwing at you guys. It's going to be really incredible.
Do I know about these?
It's going to be the weekend. Oh, well. I'm going to surprise you.
So that's coming up. And in other news, I have officially ripped through another set of tires on the R1. I don't know how the hell that happened. They're 3 weeks old. I got my first track day coming up on Monday. Priscilla's super excited about it. She's going to be there. We're going to film the whole thing. Sean Smith is going. And I think Howard's going too, actually. He's going to try to show up at some point. So we're going to spend the day out at the old Sears Point, now known as Sonoma Raceway, and I will be in the C class, the beginner's novice class, tearing it up around the track in my red, white, and black Alpine Stars leathers. I look like a damn Power Ranger in those things. You're not laughing.
I was just thinking of how crotchy they look.
They're it's the way they designed it, like with the vented leather right there and the stretchy stuff. It looks like underwear.
It's just so accentuated.
There's a lot of
kind of a little bit awkward for everybody, and he comes home and tries to have conversations with me, and I just keep on getting redirected to the nether regions, and it's very uncomfortable.
Well, I did post a picture on Instagram today of the leathers, but it wasn't very crotchy. It was kind of like the leg. It was after my ride today. I was sitting in the office. I'm like, dude, this would be kind of a cool pic. Letting everybody know I'm prepping for track day. Oh, you know what else is going on? David Larson, brand ambassador. His very first contest is Saturday. We're 3 days out. I was with him today at the gym with he's having his last workout today. Dude is shredded. Like freaking shredded. He's doing the INBA. It's the all natural contest. This guy, like
freak of nature.
I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. Do people still say that? Chickens before they're hatched?
They might.
I don't know. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched or my ducks before they quack, but, I think David's going to take
count your ducks before they quack?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
Can you count like Donald Duck or Daffy Duck?
Wait, hang on. I got coffee mouth.
You got to do that next time we're in the gym.
I forgot Mia loves that. I haven't done it in a while with her. All right, so we're talking about 5 ways to pack on lean muscle. And I decided to do this because we're getting a great response to the podcast in general, but I'm finding that people are really enjoying when we just divulge our secrets. and we organize them nicely. So this is going to be one of those podcasts where we actually, enough fucking around and screwing around. Howie, since you're not here, I guess we've got to be serious. We're going to do a real serious podcast, give you guys serious fucking advice. Why are you just smiling at me and not saying anything?
Because
it's 9:45 at night and you spent the entire time I was trying to start this podcast downstairs making food and talking to Rick.
Because here we are talking about lean muscle, and then the news that you divulged to me before we started, it's just kind of on my heart and on my mind. And I don't know, I feel like
What news?
About piano. I feel like I know that probably it's not, PC to talk about it or whatever, but I want to just verbalize publicly that our hearts and minds go out to this guy.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, hasn't read the news, apparently, and I literally just saw this on Facebook. I'm guessing it's valid because it was on TMZ, but I don't know if it was a couple days ago or whatever. Paramedics were called to Rich Piana's house in Florida for an emergency medical condition, and he's in a medically induced coma. And the emergency technician said it was due to a drug overdose of some sort, is what I heard. I don't want to gossip. I never want to talk about anybody in the industry because I admire all these people, and I'm definitely a huge. I admire Rich quite a bit for his entrepreneurial spirit, his all
brilliant,
whatever
and
it takes attitude. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, breaking the silence. As much as he takes a lot of shit from people that just want to trash him on the internet, he has twice as many fans. I'm definitely one of those guys. He's inspired me. He's inspired a lot of Body Spartan, and a lot of what I am is because of Rich. So yeah, man.
And our hearts just are wide open for this guy. We never want to see somebody who's going through trouble medically. So definitely we're with him.
I know what that feels like, man. It ain't fun. So okay, guys. So this is going to apply to males and females. So the theory and the science that we're putting forth in this episode works for males and females. So don't just think that this is Body Spartan, it's a guy thing because we post a bunch of guy videos and there's a bunch of guy shit going on. Even though the Revolution program is running slightly behind, we will have it out soon, and there will be a female program finally.
And a lot of the secrets that we're divulging today are things that I have used to get myself ready for competitions and pack on lean muscle, so they're highly effective.
Yep. All right. Well, let's just dive right into it, guys. Number 1 in the 5 ways to pack on lean muscle. And by the way, this is just 5 ways to pack on lean muscle. This is 5 ways to pack on lean muscle fast. This is the fastest way. Next to sticking a needle in your ass and then doing all these things, there's no faster way to grow. And by the way, I'm just going to put it out there, guys. There's this but there's this myth and this stigma that if you do steroids, you don't got to work out and you can half-ass shit. I see it so much in our comments. I see oh yeah, you guys just the trick to getting big is just take steroids. I'm like, no. We know so many fucking people in the industry, and you should see how fucking hard these people work. You have to work twice as hard when you're on cycle than when you're off.
And every single one of us has competed naturally. So that means no steroids. Well, Gabe has never competed, but the rest of us have competed, and we've all competed naturally.
But I did get drug tested every single month on my television career.
But it doesn't take a needle in your butt.
No.
It takes self-discipline and the tricks that we're going to tell you today.
I mean, if you want to be a pro bodybuilder, it does take a needle in your butt. That's just the high and the low of it. Since we're being totally real, I mean, there isn't a single Mr. Olympia competitor that won't say, no, I didn't do steroids. I mean, look at Pac-Man in Generation Iron. He's like, yeah, dude, whatever. Yeah, we take steroids, but you take them all you want, but you'll never be able to do what we do because it takes way more than just sticking a needle in your ass.
And I think the big reason that people constantly blame steroids for the fact that this person's got muscle or that person's got muscle is because it's difficult for us to look at ourselves with faults and not have a reason to blame somebody else. What is going on over there?
I think I have a beard hair that shed and went down my throat and it's caught in my throat.
I know you want to hear about lean muscle, but instead we're going to listen to Gabe hacking up a lung tonight. I'm
drinking water and I'm trying to cough away from the microphone. Something is in my throat. Okay, hang on. Got it. I'm good. Okay. So, all right. Enough about steroids and shit like that. I think we should do a whole podcast on steroids. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be about as real as it gets. Just Yeah, maybe we'll sidebar that.
How funny is it that I suggested that 2 weeks ago and you're
I was
like,
waiting for you to say
no.
That was me hand feeding it to you. Like, yeah, I'm glad you like my idea, Gabe.
Well, there you go then.
Why are you being such a married for 15 years and loving it?
Better than ever.
Better than ever. All right, so number one, guys, eat to grow. We have all this talk about, I eat healthy and, I eat this and I eat that. Well, the problem is that you're not eating to grow. I've said this before, there's eating healthy, there's eating, and then there's eating to grow. Eating to get shredded and eating to grow, two different things. You can bulk and keep the body fat gain to a minimum if you do it properly. And you can't just go, this whole thing about, eat, or what is it? It's bulk, shred, repeat. I mean, yeah, that's true, but people's idea of bulk, they call it a dirty bulk. Like, there's no such fucking thing as a dirty bulk.
Ice cream is not going to make you look like Schwarzenegger. Just sorry.
No, like, there's no way. Like, your body doesn't absorb sugars the same way it absorbs clean carbs. So let's just get that right there.
And these are two.
It's never going to convert to muscle.
These are two separate cycles. A lot of people will come to us and they're like, I want to be big and shredded. Okay, which one is more important to you first? Because it is a cycle. You're going to want to have a bulk season and you're going to want to have a shred season, even if it's just 12 weeks. But splitting them up is going to give you the very best gains that you can possibly get. And you're not going to get them from ice cream. What you are going to get them from is the correct combination of macronutrients. And
you know what I just realized? I just realized that we're calling this 5 ways to pack on lean muscle, and it's actually 8 ways to pack on lean muscle. I got 8 bullet points here, and I forgot to change the title. We don't count. We're giving you guys 3 bonus points.
Exactly. Oh, did I say 5 reps? I'm sorry, I meant 8
I
reps.
meant 18. So
it's like exactly like working out with him.
8 ways to pack on lean muscle mass fast. And so don't get confused when you guys are looking at the title.
The school for kids that don't count good. Welcome.
Derek Zoolander. All right, so anyway, eating to grow. Yeah, like Priscilla was saying, there's shredding and there's bulking. If you want to get big, you have to have carbs in your system. If you want to pack on lean muscle mass, you got to have carbs. And the reason you got to have carbs is because you have to have glycogen. And glycogen comes from carbohydrates. It's basically, there's water molecules in carbs. There's a bunch of other stuff. But the water gets shoved with the glycogen into your muscle cells, and it causes them to be full. And that's what makes you strong. And part of bodybuilding is, yes, being strong. And I'm not talking about your one rep max strong. I'm talking about volume strong. We're going to get to that in a little bit because that's actually item number 4.
But this doesn't mean that you go to the salad bar and you're eating a salad, you're eating a chicken, and you're loading peanut butter on top of it, and you're like, everything's a free-for-all. Donuts because it's carb. No. We're talking about high-quality macronutrients and low fat. So you're focused on the carbs, you're focused on the protein, but you're limiting your fat intake.
Yeah, exactly. As low as humanly possible with the fat intake. High protein, high carbs, super low fat. And that's the idea. This is exactly what we do in the Unleashed program. We calculate your macros for you when you sign up for the program. It's really cool, actually. I was so stoked when we programmed this thing. It was so damn cool. We took this formula. We figured out, based on a couple of things, and Priscilla's this awesome sports nutritionist. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to toot her own horn for her.
Just don't toot. The door's shut.
She scored the highest on the exam in California that had ever been scored at the time she took her test, which is pretty damn cool. So she's a master sports nutritionist. And anyway, all that aside, as she blushes,
I am blushing,
the idea
but
is
thank you.
We took this formula and we basically had our programmers do this in such a way that when you sign up for the Unleashed program, you just type in a bunch of stuff about yourself and it just spits out your macros for you daily. So you don't have to think about it. You don't got to calculate it. You just hit OK. I'm ready to start my program, and boom, your macros are on the next page. It's all calculated for you based on your body and your body type. But it's important, guys. If you're going to wing this, wing it. You're welcome to do that, but I highly encourage you to try something like Unleashed. Point being, high protein, high carbs, super low fat. We're talking about carbs here, guys. You got to make a decision. You got to think, do I want complex carbs or simple carbs? And if you're trying to pack on lean muscle mass, this is going to be body specific, so person specific. And you're going to have to pick and choose through experimentation which kind of carbs to use. So somebody like me, where I have a super fast metabolism, all my life I have been able to get away with eating simple carbs. even though I eat complex carbs, I can eat simple carbs whenever the hell I want, and I don't seem to see a difference. Actually, I will tell you this. I feel stronger in the gym when I have simple carbs earlier in the day or the day before, and I get that stored glycogen, that 24-hour glycogen. If I do like white rice or pancakes, something like that the day before, lots of simple carbs throughout the day.
You said pancakes?
I said pancakes.
Pancakes.
Pancakes. I was thinking of Janet earlier. I think that's where it came from.
Pancakes.
Damn it, Janet. I'll notice that I just feel freaking strong the next day. And there's this balance where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and assess on a daily basis, am I gaining body fat? Am I having too many carbs?
Because you will stack on size, but it's not the size that you want.
Yeah, you want your muscles to be you want your muscles to be as full of glycogen as possible without having so much of an excess of carbohydrates in your system that your body can't process it and it turns it into fat. So there is this delicate balance where you need to be testing your body fat at least once a week. So get yourself a pair of freaking calipers. Go learn how to do body fat testing. There's a million sites that show you how to do it. If you're doing Genesis or Unleashed, in both those programs, in the preseason videos, we tell you how to take your body fat, and you can type in the measurements and it auto-calculates it for you. Wow, it sounds like a plug for our programs. I'm really not trying to plug our programs. They're just so damn good.
And you can have good, clean gains. You don't have to gain a bunch of fat along with it. If you're eating clean, if you're eating high quality carbohydrates and you're feeling good about your gains, you don't have to wear a sweatshirt the entire bulk season.
Yeah, that's just such a fallacy, man. Like, there just is no off season. Like, your bulking season, you're not supposed to get fat. You're just supposed to get huge. Like, you're going to gain some body fat. That goes without saying, because you're not dieting down for a contest. You can't live at contest body fat percentage. So when you look at a magazine, you look on the internet, and you see photos of people doing their workouts, I think what people don't recognize is that these athletes have trained for months to get themselves to a percentage where they can be shot. When I say shot, I mean shot with a camera, not with a
We're going to shoot them all.
So they can be in the limelight and shot. And, I'm just going to spill an industry secret. Dude, people use fake weights on shoot days. They use these really lightweight. They're super. I don't even know what they're made of. Like ceramic kind of shit. It's just they're super light. They look just like plates. But when you're dieted down and you're all dried out because you haven't had water in 2 days, and basically you're at like 4% body fat. Your tendons, dude, they're not all lubed up like they usually are. So consider that you want to make the shot look good. Well, guess what? We're using fake weights. So you got to consider all that and think that it's not always possible to live at that body fat percentage. It is possible to live at a body fat percentage of like 6 to 8%, which looks pretty damn good. And I did that for most of my life. But to live at 4, 3, that percentage, that's like show day and show day only.
But a lot of that is just aesthetics. And if any of you have been on the Zoom call that I did on how to prepare the last 10 days before a show or a photo shoot.
That would be our elite members call.
And a lot of that has to do with playing with water depletion and your glycogen stores. So I stay really lean all year long. And of course, body fat percentages for women is a lot higher than it is for men to look like they're ready to jump on stage. However, the magic happens with the water depletion process and the glycogen loading and reloading. Yeah.
All this to say, guys, that, you're going to gain a little bit of body fat, but you shouldn't be in like the 20% range. Like, it's okay to be 10, 12% as a guy, and as a female, like, what are you thinking, like 16% for a girl in the off season is probably okay.
I stay about 14% year round.
You're super lean. It's ridiculous.
But the longer you hold it, the longer your body just wants to stay that way. Law of attraction, you guys. The longer you stay at that lean body fat percentage, your body just naturally adapts to that. And it's like, okay, I'm 12%. I might be 12%.
No, I think when we tested you during the BTS 84 series, you were 12.
Was I 12?
You were just hanging out at 12%.
Something without
even
extra,
trying.
Yet I look so much more jacked when I'm ready for a shoot, when I've put in that time to deplete the water, mess with glycogen stores. Yeah. But anyhow.
So guys, high protein, high carbs, super low fat. You got to eat at least 5 to 6 times a day. And if you're going to be serious about packing on lean muscle, these have to be spaced out evenly throughout the day. And I'm saying 5 or 6 is the absolute bare minimum. You need steady bloodstream levels of all your nutrients, specifically protein, and carbs.
And something else I want to kind of tack onto this, I did this bulking thing when I was competing, and it was really just a great big excuse to eat like crap or to eat a bunch of carbohydrates and not watch my calories. It's not that kind of party, you guys, because really I would jump on stage at 125 and then I would balloon up to 142 in about, I don't know what, 6 days, 7 days.
It was all in your boobs too.
Well, wherever it was unhealthy. And it was an excuse to not be loving to my body and not continue to push for my goals. So understand that there's a difference between bulking and gaining muscle and just making up excuses and being lazy. If you want to do that, that's cool, but just don't call it bulking.
Yeah, I mean, the dirty bulk thing just doesn't fly, guys. There's no excuse to do that. So number one, eat to grow. High protein, high carbs, super low fat. Eat 5 to 6 times a day minimum. Now, we talked about having the excess glycogen, excess carbs floating through your bloodstream levels, and have to watch that. One of the ways to, what's the word I'm looking for? Mitigate that is doing your cardio. And that's number 2, guys. So number 1 is eat to grow. Number 2 is do your cardio. And the reason that you want to do your cardio consistently is, well,
because it's fun.
It's super fun. I love doing cardio.
I love cardio. It's my favorite part of my day.
You know what? It was so much easier for me to do
baby.
cardio when I was surfing. I do my cardio, but man, I gotta just like at 38 years old, it's like I need a virtual reality thing or something to make it more fun.
Excuse.
It's not an excuse. I still do it.
Why don't you come out hiking with me? Like, seriously, there's so many fun ways. If your shoulder was better, like boxing, like Rick and I've been boxing for like the last week and a half. It's so much fun.
Well, good for you guys.
It doesn't have to be. You're welcome to join us.
I don't
you know
wanna
where
join
we
you.
live. You can.
I know where you live.
But it doesn't have to be something you dread. And you know why I love running? Like, I love running. You want to know why? Because I am plugged into an audiobook or I'm listening to something that is an inspiration. Why are we both jumping all over our tongues now? I don't
know. That sounded like an innuendo to me.
But make it fun. Make it exciting because cardio freaking rocks.
Yeah,
And
I've got positive stuff going in my ears when I'm doing cardio as well. And I do the same thing. I take the time to watch personal development, as we call it, which is usually some sort of motivational video or audio or something that you're learning from somebody that's far more advanced than you or far more successful than you, and they're handing down knowledge. That's what we call personal development. And P is really good about plugging that in all the time.
And if you really want to feel good when you're doing your cardio and you really want to be a lifer, you really want to be obsessed with doing it on a consistent basis, get outside and do it out in nature. If you can go on a hike, if you can go on a run. I run out in front of our house just because I have to stay close to home base for our 5-year-old. However, you can go out into nature and be oxygenated and get the vitamin D. It's going to boost your serotonin levels, boost your endorphins, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
Family Guy reference.
Hey.
And you said it right there. And I'll tell you guys, because the question that you're probably asking is, well, what does doing cardio have to do with packing on lean muscle? And I'll tell you in just a second. But onto that nature thing you're talking about, I said this in a couple podcasts ago. I had snapped, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was 10 o'clock at night, and I was out front doing sprints. It wasn't the only night I've done that. I've just, I don't want to.
I grabbed my camera, and I took a picture of him through my window doing his cardio, and it turned out black. I'm like, perfect. That's my man hustling outside
by
at
street light. It was 10 o'clock at night. There were 2 street lights on our block, and I was running back and forth.
And I was in the window. Sherman. Go,
but
baby.
You don't have to be indoors. And that's why I was saying, like, I need something different than just running on a treadmill or doing Stairmaster or, whatever. I'm just going to go put my beats on and go run back and forth in front of my house. Sprint, jog, sprint, jog, sprint, jog. Doing HIIT training. That's what I did. I didn't care it was 10 o'clock at night. I didn't give a fuck what my neighbors thought. I didn't care who was looking out the window, listening to me go,
and we get stupid programmed to think that we have to be on the treadmill or we have to do the traditional. You can blast your music in front of a mirror. Like, I don't mean to sound so girly or whatever, but if you can move your body in that way, your abs are going to be jacked.
Move your body.
And you're not even going to think. Oh my gosh.
Meow, meow. Now, why do your cardio? To pack on lean muscle. Think about this, guys. Your heart pumps blood to every extremity in your body, all the way down to your fingertips and your toes, and it pumps blood and nutrients into your muscle cells. If your cardiovascular system isn't up to speed, you are not going to be able to optimize the nutrient delivery to your muscle cells. You're not going to be able to get enough, or I don't want to say enough, but you're going to be able to get more glycogen into the muscle cells. You're going to be able to get more protein and amino acids into the muscle cells. You get more water into the muscle cells, more creatine into the muscle cells, more of whatever else is going on in your body into the muscle cells, and it's going to accelerate the entire process. Not only that, but if you're in better cardiovascular shape, when you go to do your sets, if you're going to do some high volume sets that we're going to talk about in just a little bit here, you're going to be able to push yourself harder and longer than you. Another innuendo, harder and longer. Where is this coming from? You're going to be able to push yourself.
We're alone in the studio tonight.
Past
Things
the
are getting a
wall.
little hot and heavy.
Yeah, if it just gets weird, don't mind us, guys. Maybe another way to make $1 million. There's always a way, guys.
Right.
Yeah, the sex tape that never will happen. Well, actually,
okay, moving on.
there is a DVD floating around. We don't know where it is.
Moving on.
I've been lost in a move somewhere.
I know. Where is that thing?
I don't know. It's just titled Gabe and Priscilla Being Bad. I don't know where it is.
We were so, newlyweds. Anyways. So also the
15 frames per second
cardio
webcam.
is good in case by chance you are being chased by a bear. I don't know when that might happen.
It's called functional training.
Functional training.
Functional training. But guys,
Always starts with
this
fun.
is
F-U-N.
and so basically it's going to improve your ability to pump out more reps. If you can take bigger breaths, longer breaths, if your heart can pump that the blood into the muscle cells, you're going to be able to delay fatigue and you're going to bang out more reps. So I know it sounds like, whoa, got to do cardio to get big, but yeah, guys, you do. And this will also burn off the excess carbohydrates. So if you're ingesting more than you're actually stuffing into your muscle cells, if you're getting, excess carbohydrates from eating 5-6 times a day and pumping a bunch of carbs in your system, this is going to keep you lean. This is going to allow you to not have the dirty bulk, so to speak. And you're going to stay at a minimum body fat increase.
It's also going to boost your serotonin and your endorphins. If you veer towards depression or unhappiness at all, this is a powerful tool for you to use year round. You guys, cardio is critical.
I feel like $1 million when I'm done sprinting. Like when I get that anaerobic, especially when I'm doing HIIT, like I keep talking about sprints, guys, but what I do is I'll start in front of my driveway and I'll sprint down the block. And what do you think it is? Like 30 yards probably? Maybe.
I don't even know because that's the same route that I take every day.
Maybe 50 yards. I don't know. But it's like 30 or 50 yards. And then I'll just turn around, jog back. As soon as I get there, take a couple breaths, boom, sprint again. And I swear, when I'm done, I'm on top of the world. Like it's taking everything I got to not fall over on that last set of sprints. But like the endorphins that are rushing in my body, I'm like, dude, I can do anything right now.
And
I feel
if you're
great.
angry, if you're depressed, go for a run for what? 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I dare you to try to be mad after that. It just, it's like you just can't be. It's awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of different benefits to cardio.
So that's number 1, eat to grow. Number 2, do your cardio. And number 3, be consistent. For fuck's sake, guys. You can't grow. You can't expect to make change if you're not going to be consistent with what you do. When we went to our Tony Robbins Business Mastery Seminar in January.
It was awesome.
This year in West Palm Beach, Florida. It was amazing.
Probably the best time that we've ever had as a couple.
Yeah. It was great.
And it was a huge surge in our business as well.
Yeah. Well, the information there is priceless. Tony actually has an inked guarantee in Forbes magazine that says if you do not get $1 million in value from this seminar, I will give you your money back. And I won't disclose how much money it was, but it was a lot of money to go to that freaking seminar. So if you guys ever get a chance as business entrepreneurs, the Business Mastery Seminar will change your life. But one of the things that he does at these seminars, and I've seen him do it in a couple of them, he uses this as an example. He says, okay, guys, as an example for people that, are dedicated and working hard, if you go to the gym, once a week, stand up. So, 90% of the room stands up. If you go to the gym 3 times a week, stand up. Or anybody that doesn't go to the gym 3 times a week, sit down. And so they, tons of people sit down. If you go to the gym 4 days a week, stay standing. More people sit down. 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. So, you're left with a couple of people that go 7 days a week. And he goes, look around. You can tell that these people go to the gym 7 days a week. There's no shortcut to what they're doing. They're spending their time. They're prioritizing the gym and they're getting there. And, you can't cheat your way to a good physique. There's just no way to do it. These guys put in the time and they are consistent with what they do day in and day out. And consistency is what's going to get you muscle mass. Your muscles need just enough time to recover from what you're doing to them. So the stresses and the strains that you're putting on them while you're working out, you need just enough time to recover before you hit it again. And if you're not consistent with all the splits that we do, my split usually goes legs, chest, shoulders, arms, traps, and calves. And then I got a separate day for forearms, or I'll do traps, calves, and forearms. And I don't rest. So there's 6-7 days right there where I cover all the body parts. And sometimes I'm recovered before those 7 days are up. Like my arms, they're not sore. I should be working them. And sometimes I'll throw in, triceps or biceps at the end of a chest workout or something so that I hit them again. But if you wait, if you're not consistent and you try to pick up where you left off, and let's say you take a day or two off in between because you're being lazy or you just find an excuse not to go, well, that's 2 days more that your triceps or biceps have recovered and are waiting for you to blast them again. If you don't go back and blast them as fast as you can, as soon as they're recovered, you're going to start seeing fewer and fewer results.
And, you might not see results in the first 12 weeks if you don't know what you're doing when you're starting. It took me a good year of working out before I saw results because I didn't have the answers that we so readily provide to you. But
you saw something in the first year.
I just felt better. I felt powerful. I was picking heavy things up and I was putting them down, and it made me feel strong.
I think unbeknownst
strangely
to you,
drawn to what I was doing, but being consistent, I found the answers that have given me a ripping bod, and it's easy for me to maintain now.
Ripping bod.
I do. I have a ripping bod.
Is that like
I
a
like my body.
90s term? I mean, it's true. You do have a ripping bod, but like, I don't know. Is that what the kids say? They say ripping bod?
I don't think so.
They're like bougie.
It's the first thing that came.
Oh, that's so bougie.
It's the first thing that came to me.
Where's Howie and Brandon when I need them? Dude, this is bougie as fuck, bitches. It's so lit.
Yay.
Man, I use all the words. So that's number 4. Number 3, you got to be consistent with what you do. You got to do it religiously. If you're going to set out to gain lean muscle mass, pick a time, guys. Set goals, pick a time period like, 12 weeks, which is what I usually do. Say, I'm going to be consistent for 12 weeks, no matter what. And if I want after that, I can slack off. But I guarantee if you make the 12 weeks and you get results, you're not going to want to slack off after that. You want to keep working harder because you've seen some amazing results. But set a freaking goal and stick to it and be consistent. Be religious and regimented about whatever program you are doing, because that is going to lead to results. All right, number 4. Increase the intensity in your workouts over time. And this is something that I learned, it's in the later part of my career. I was doing, I don't want to say the same workouts over and over again, but I was trying to increase weight, and I was doing all sorts of different phases of training. And what I'm finding is that when we're talking about setting goals over like a 12-week period or 3-month or 4-month or whatever your period is, 60 days, if you don't consciously track what you're doing and you don't increase the intensity over time, I've said this before, the human body is an amazingly adaptive machine. It adapts so quickly to what you're doing that you will just plateau. And so you need to increase everything that you're doing, increase the volume, increase the intensity. Here's what we do. Start a program. And I do this in the Unleashed program. You start the program, and you start with, say, like, four sets of whatever, say you're pyramiding, or if you're doing 4 sets of 20 or 4 sets of 15, whatever it may be for that first week, you stick to that general rep scheme. Then the next time around on your split, whether you're doing a 6-day split or a 7-day split, you do more reps. So you're doing, 4 sets of 20 instead of 4 sets of 15. And then you're increasing your weight a little bit more every time, whether it's 5 pounds, whether it's 2.5, doesn't matter. You got to increase the weight a little bit. And the week after that, you add sets to that. So instead of doing 4 sets, you're doing 5 sets of 20 this time. And you're cranking the weight up. So you're increasing the overall volume of what you're doing. You're increasing the intensity, you're increasing the volume, and you're never giving your body a chance to adapt. If you do this, it's like sticking a frog in a boiling pot of water. No, wait. I'm sorry. That is a really bad analogy. I said it wrong. You stick a frog in a pot of water and you turn it up slowly. That's what I was trying to say. Just ruined my own analogy. I'm terrible.
Poor frog.
Horrible.
Horrible.
You're horrible. Was that?
So-
was from Superstar, right?
Oh yeah.
She's slamming the door.
Horrible.
You're horrible. You're horrible.
So in essence, what you're doing to increase the intensity of your workouts, more reps, more sets, more weights, increasing your volume.
Over time. Not all not all over one workout, but we're slowly turning up the heat. That's why I was trying to use the analogy of the frog. You slowly turn it up. The frog never knows it's boiling. Same with your body. You slowly turn it up and, your body never gets a chance to adapt and it's forced to grow.
Which is why we constantly change the exercises that we're doing as well.
Oh, yes. Tell me more.
Constantly
about
try different things.
Tell me
and
more.
Move in different ways.
that. Hallelujah. See the light.
Am I preaching good or am I preaching good tonight, y'all?
You're preaching good.
Do it.
All right. Well, that's number 4. It's very straightforward. I don't think there's a need to take more time on that. Although I will give a little anecdote that when I started doing this is when I started seeing some crazy results because I've been doing different types of training. I'm going from strength training to endurance training to mastering, like Genesis, which works fantastic. But with Unleashed is when I really was like, dude, this is the way to go. And my body responded amazingly well to it. So I use that religiously now. See, I'm doing my own number 3, being consistent and doing it religiously.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, focus on the mind-muscle connection rather than the weight, which is, don't think that I'm kind of contradicting myself because I said, increase the weight.
Contradicting yourself.
I give up. I just quit.
Contra Costa.
That's it. I'm out of
I don't
here.
even know.
I'm done. Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
I'm not trying to contradict myself because in the last bullet point I said increase the weight. What I'm saying is that the mind-muscle connection is this neurological connection that you have where instead of just moving weight, you're actually focusing on contracting the target muscle group. So if you're doing a curl, a lot of people will curl without really thinking about what they're doing. When they curl, they'll move their shoulders a little bit or they'll lean forward and then they'll lean back to kind of swing the weight up every time rather than keeping the upper part of your arm completely immobile and not moving. So from your shoulder to your elbow, that's not supposed to move. Like you put it at your side and it stays there. And then the only thing that moves is from your elbow to your wrist. The elbow is the hinge and your back should stay straight. You shouldn't sway and you're isolating that muscle. And then instead of just moving it, try lightening the weight and try thinking, okay, I'm going to flex my muscle as hard as I can to make the weight move rather than just trying to move the weight. Because I've heard people say, move the weight, move the weight, move the weight. Like, yeah, okay, we can move the weight or we can really think about what we're doing. And I kind of pride myself on this because when I'm working out with the guys, and this is kind of cool is they're not here. I get to talk about them. They're always like, fuck, Gabe, you're just so fucking shredded. You're so big. God damn it. Just stuff like that where they'll just say things like that. But if you watch the way I lift and you watch the way people like fucking Brandon lift, fuck you, Brandon, not here. You had to go save kittens out of trees again up in Ukiah, Cal Fire. Maybe I shouldn't say this because the guys bust their ass hard. But okay, if they'll bang out reps, and what I'm saying is that when I do the reps, yeah, I'll bang out some at the end. But you watch what I do, guys. Slow and controlled, focusing on the contraction. I rarely will you see me start to finish just swing shit. It's like, okay, I'm closing my eyes as I lift, and I've said this before. One of the weird things I do is I close my eyes and I focus. I try to see my body when I close my eyes and everything's dark. And when I contract the muscle group, that part of the body lights up. So I'm kind of trying. You guys remember that scene from The Matrix when Neo goes blind because he's had that electrical cord in his eyes and he can't see, but then he can see the energy from Agent Smith. And it's just bright energy surrounding his body so he can actually see him. It's the same thing. So I try to visualize what muscle group I'm actually contracting, and I focus on just that muscle group. But if something else fires, if another muscle group fires, it lights up and like I see it in my brain. I'm like, oh shit, I'm using my shoulders.
And what's totally strange is I do the exact same thing.
Ooh.
And we have never talked about this together.
Really?
The fact that you close your eyes, because I do the same exact thing. It's so strange.
So much better when you close your eyes.
I mean, when I'm not working out with the squad.
What?
When I'm not working out with the squad.
The squad.
It's different. Because when you're working out by yourself, I don't know, there's a different kind of a concentration. There's a different kind of a vibration that goes on because they're expecting the full repetition. And if you feel it more at the top and you hold it there, you're getting a workout that's more specific for your needs. But anyways, focusing on the contraction with your eyes closed.
Yeah, the other trick that
method.
we do all the time is having your training partner tap on the muscle group that is supposed to be contracted. So let's say you're doing seated cable rows, and as you pull that cable towards your stomach, have your training partner walk around the back and take his or her fingers and just touch your lats where they should be contracting. Or you do that for your training partner, touch their lats and just kind of tap really lightly. And when your training partner does it to you, it's going to blow your mind. If you're really trying to focus on the mind-muscle connection, it's going to blow your mind because suddenly you go, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be squeezing. Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. And you get this instant neurological connection where you focus just on that muscle group and your brain basically locks it in. And you go, okay, this is what I'm doing. And eventually you won't need that.
And another reason that works and is highly effective is because there's energy meridians all throughout our body. There's definitely energy meridians underneath the armpit, kind of back towards the lat, the forehead and the eye, a whole bunch of different spots. And when you tap on those, you are breaking through mental blockages.
What is that? It's
and you're capable,
EFT, right? Is what that's called?
Yeah, EFT, but they're called energy meridians, and they're all over your body. So even on your knees, and I've tapped on my knees several times when they're hurting when I'm doing squats, and it helps me get the lift.
Did you use that in Revolution, right? In the girls' female program, did you use EFT?
I did not teach
EFT. You did brain entrainment. That's
yes,
what you did. Yeah.
But not EFT.
We should probably do.
We should add that.
We need to add
hey.
that. That's him. Hey.
Well, it's something that I just kind of came up with on my own, so I don't know even how to articulate how to use that necessarily. But it is just energy meridians that freeze blocked energy in your body.
I just realized we threw a total inside joke out there and nobody got it.
Him,
except
hey.
For him, hey.
Nobody's laughing.
So
They're
when Mia was
funny.
like 2 years old, there was this iPhone game. It was like Noah's Ark or something like that. And it was made for kids, like, 2 to 3 year olds or whatever.
And you tap on them and they say things. They're like, hi.
Well, yeah, kind of. It was
and you
just,
tap on this one guy and he's like,
I don't remember who it was. Somebody in the Noah's Ark story. He's just like, him, hey, over and over and
and
over
then
again.
she'd
She
sit there and tap it
over
him,
and over
him,
again.
hey,
I
him,
just
hey.
across the room. I just hear him, hey.
We're like, okay.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know. It was entertainment for parents.
Yeah. So with the mind muscle connection too, guys, there is going to be this debate about machines versus free weights, because for me, it's easier to concentrate on the mind muscle connection when I'm using cables or machines or hammer strength, at least when you're in the learning phase. And once you've mastered that, then you can really apply that to free weights. I'm not saying don't do free weights. I'm not saying don't do, your barbell movements, your compound movements. I'm saying you need to do all of it. But what I'm saying is that as you incorporate your machines, your cables, and your hammer strength machines into your workouts, really try to focus on the mind-muscle connection when you use those. Then, as you move on to things like barbell bench press, then you'll be able to isolate your chest even further, because a lot of guys, I see it all the time, man. It is a compound movement, but they are really using their delts and they're using their triceps because they were shown that, or they watched a video on how to increase the weight on their bench press to get their numbers up. So they're using their delts and their triceps, and it's overpowering their pec muscles, which is a whole different story. But if you want a course on that, we can talk about that another time. So that's number 5. Number 6, use supplements, man. Use freaking supplements. I'm anti
And if you're new,
bad language today because it's just you and me. It's so weird.
and if you're new to the whole idea of lifting and getting in shape and all this stuff, you don't need them yet. Don't freak out and go and buy all these things. If you're a 16-year-old kid and you're just getting started, you don't need them. However, if you're a little more seasoned, if you've been in it a couple years or a year or whatever, if you feel like you're needing that extra boost, there are some really powerful supplements that will absolutely help you.
That was a really good point you just said about being younger, like 16 and lifting weights. At that age, your body is still growing. There's huge amounts of testosterone, especially in guys. The testosterone levels are out of control. They're so high. And the whole concept of lifting weights, that neurological connection, that mind-muscle connection that you're making at that age, that alone is going to cause explosive muscle growth. So like she said, don't stress about supplements.
Use your natural ability before you take things to help you exceed it.
But when it's time to exceed it,
there's a lot of really
and
wonderful
it's time
ways
to become
do it.
superhuman, take fucking supplements, guys. We're talking about how to pack on lean muscle and how to do it quickly. Well, use supplements. You guys be like, oh, I don't want to spend the money or blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? That's too
Stop
bad.
whining.
Stop whining. Where's Howie? Stop whining. If you're going to do any sport, you got to expend money. And in a way, fitness and bodybuilding is a sport, even though you're not running around and doing contact sports or shit like that. You know, with anything, with football, you got to buy gear. With, with hockey, you got to buy gear. With, motorcycle racing, I had to buy leathers and boots. I had to buy a bike and I had to pay track fees and tires. And Priscilla's looking at me like, oh my God, that's where our money goes.
Oh, darling, I watch it happen. But today we're talking about supplements.
Okay,
and namely, the most famous one is the test booster.
Well, probably not the most famous, but the one that does probably the best bang for your buck, in my opinion.
Ladies, don't take it. It'll make you throw vacuum cleaners down the stairs.
Every
Case
podcast
in
we
point.
talk about this. You throw on the vacuum cleaner down
I'm
the
just
stairs.
going to give in my 2 cents.
It still works, but it sounds really weird when you fire it up. It's like super loud and like the roller's all off balance.
It's not the same.
No, it's definitely damaged. It's like an animal that's been beaten. It just doesn't work the same.
So ladies, Chronos, no.
T-Volve, no.
T-Volve, no.
So test booster, we've talked about this in other podcasts, but I'm just going to touch on it very briefly. The male hormone testosterone is responsible for maintaining muscle and huge amounts of muscle growth. So there are natural testosterone boosters out there. You can get one of the ingredients you're looking for is Tribulus terrestris. T-Volve,
And a lot of ladies can grab that. A lot of ladies can
it's
take
great
that.
for females too.
Me? No. Vacuum cleaners? No.
Important to remember though, with natural testosterone boosters, you will never get beyond your medically acceptable testosterone range. So there's a range of, I think it's like nanograms per deciliter or something, or deciliter. I don't know what it is. There's some measurement and there's a scale, but you'll never get outside the medically acceptable scale. You may be in the higher range, which I was, and I've told the story where I popped on a drug test in WWE because it was high. It wasn't out of the normal range. They're like, what are you doing? Because we know your base testosterone was a lot lower. I didn't get fired, didn't get in trouble. They're just like, okay, well, stop taking this stuff. And it was Tribulus. So T-Volve, which is our testosterone booster, you can get it on bodyspartan.com, is loaded with Tribulus and a couple other things like Long Jack and a bunch of other good stuff. But it's been proven to work, just hands down. There's tons of scientific data on it, and people are going, oh, no, it doesn't work. Well, guess what? If you go to the site and you look at the bottom, we've got studies that are cited, so you can go look and see that Tribulus does work. So if you're going to use supplements, use a test booster, a natty one, if you want. If you don't want, that's up to you too. The next best bang for your buck is going to be creatine, and there's a lot of different types out there, guys. There's monohydrate, there is buffered creatine, which is creatinine, there's ethyl ester, there's tricreatine malate, and there's micronized creatine. Which one you want to take, P? Because there's 5 right there for us to talk about.
I mean, I prefer creatinine, but I had a lot of fallacies. If you guys have questions about the creatine types and you want to know more about supplements in general, check out our supplement podcast. Do you remember what episode that was on?
I don't.
50.
50 what? Oh, we're at 50 minutes?
Oops.
Wow, it's been an awesome 50 minutes.
But you can go back and listen to the supplement podcast. We go through this in great detail because I had a lot of fallacies that I was
you know why I
believing.
don't remember what it was? Because I never made it live. I didn't like that episode.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. So, guys, we taped an entire episode. Taped. Who says taped? We recorded an entire episode.
It
This is
was
a generation that doesn't know what a
awesome.
cassette is. That's
It was.
so funny.
I feel like you should
No, I
release
didn't like
that
it.
one.
I didn't like it. I felt like our
This
energy
man
was off.
is such a perfectionist. Can I just tell you that? He is like everything that he produces is pure excellent, except for farts. Like seriously,
Those are
not
pretty
excellent.
fucking excellent.
I mean, they're excellent. I just don't want them in my proximity. But anyways, he broke it down, and I prefer creatinine as a female, but I was understanding that Howie likes monohydrate.
Well, and here's the thing about all these. In my personal opinion, for the longest time, I was a creatinine fan as well, and I plug it in Genesis, and you'll see, guys, there's links to it in Genesis. We don't manufacture creatinine. We don't sell it. I don't get endorsed, or I'm not endorsing All American EFX. It was just a product that I used for a long time because I really liked it, and I saw some good results with it. But when you get down to the nuts and bolts, I've tried all these creatines. And with buffered creatine, like crealkaline, it's got its own patent. The idea it's a pH buffered creatine where supposedly you get more water intercellular than in between the skin and the muscle. So people are always worried about bloat with it. And in my personal experience over, what am I? I'm 38. I started lifting when I was 14. So do the math on that. 24 years. Wait, is that right? Yeah, 24 years of lifting weights and playing with supplements. The only time you got to worry about bloat like this is pre-contest. So if you're not doing a contest, you don't got to worry about it. And in my personal opinion, monohydrate works just fine. Micronized
and didn't you say that it was a
is-
fallacy?
What's
that there was an excessive amount of bloat?
I think it is. Like I don't see any data to support that there is bloat when you have creatine. It's all anecdotal.
When I was taking monohydrate, I did feel bloated, but I also thought that I was supposed to feel bloated. And so I feel like my mind just responded with bloat. Because after I read the studies that you had shown me, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't even think that I was reading accurate information. So that was an eye opener.
That's a testament of what your body will do when your mind believes it. We've talked about the placebo effect before and how powerful the mind is. Look at episode 5, The Power of the Mind. That was another good one we did.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, go back and listen to episode 5, guys. You want to hear about how powerful the mind is and placebo and all the effects that the mind will have on being healthy or growing or not. The mind can make anything happen. It can heal people from cancer that think that they're taking drugs to heal cancer, even though they're sugar pills, hence the placebo. So,
which leads me to my favorite
I didn't get to
bulking
finish.
agent.
Wait, all I want to say is that it doesn't matter which creatine you take; they all work. In my personal opinion, I use monohydrate or micronized. I use the micronized.
Close
from
your eyes and
Optimum-
pick one.
Optimum Nutrition micronized, because it's so fine you don't even know it's there. Like you just drop it into your shakes, you don't even taste it. So.
You snort it.
Like it's going out of style. I snort creatine the way Howie snorts pre-workout.
Yes. This is what goes on behind the scenes.
So P's favorite supplement.
My favorite is Zyphos. I'm a Zyphos freak. And it has completely changed the bulking experience for me. It's just L-arginine. And
it's actually 3 different types of arginine, but
it is okay. It's 3 different
L-arginine
types
is the main
of
one that we're going to talk about.
Exactly. So go ahead, Smarty Pants.
Go
ahead, steal my show.
I'm not stealing your show. I'm just trying to make sure that people know if they're going to buy our supplement, they know it's not just L-arginine. It's 3 different types of arginine. And
To be
arginine,
specific.
well, what arginine does is it increases your NO production, and it basically is a vasodilator. So your blood vessels and your arteries will not slowly, but they will start to dilate. And I always give this analogy. Think about, you got a hose out front, out of your spigot. You get a bigger diameter hose, you can push more water through that hose. And it's going to have a bigger stream. Same thing applies with a vasodilator. You push more blood into the muscle cells. And what we talked about earlier, when you're doing your cardio, more nutrients, more oxygen, everything goes into the muscle cells. So
I take it and I look in the mirror after my workout and I see a visual difference.
Yeah. People expect, if you're going to take, I want to make sure people understand, if you take Zyphos, you take any other pump formula, you're not going to get vascular as hell if you've never been vascular before. It's not going to happen. You will feel a pump. Vascularity comes from lower body fat and comes from chasing the pump, which is, we've talked about this in other episodes, the whole premise behind bodybuilding versus powerlifting is you chase that pump. You try to force as much blood as possible into the muscle cells. So vascularity comes when you're constantly doing that. You need more blood. Your veins become more prominent. You look way more vascular, especially when you have lower body fat. So that's my top. What is that? 1, 2, top 3 picks for supplements. So number 6, use supplements. Got 2 more to go here, guys. Number 7, push yourself beyond your limits every time you train. And this is an intangible tip. This is a tip that you can't go out and buy. This isn't something you just go get and it just happens. This is a frame of mind. This is the state of mind. This is the ability to train to failure every set and to walk into that gym or get up for your cardio and just go, I'm going to fucking smash this. And when it hurts, I'm going to do more. And when I think I'm done, I'm not done. What's the study? There was a study done that says, I think that the SEALs did it or something like that, where like when your body is ready to give up, you're really only at 40% capacity.
I cannot remember for the life of me where I got that information.
It was some sort of, I think it was a military study.
Because I came home with it and I gave it to you and we're like, yes.
Because it's true.
Awesome.
It's so true.
And now I don't remember where the source was.
We've
on
all
that,
pushed
but it's
through.
Absolutely true. Because now when I'm sprinting and I'm just like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, oh, I'm not done.
Yeah.
And then I just push on and I'm able to, I've been able to double the length of my sprints in the morning because of
you
that.
know the
I'm
data.
only
You're like,
40%.
oh yeah, I got 60% left before
Yep.
I fall over. How awesome is that?
And so much of what brings us to that point is like that underlying understanding of why we are doing what we're doing. It's not to look good on the beach.
Well,
It's
maybe.
to no.
Might be somebody's why.
No. It's not enough. If your why does not make you cry, then that's not your why.
What do you say? Why do you cry?
Why do you cry?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? No, it's
Why till you cry.
Why till you cry?
Yeah. And that's getting to the deeper reason about why you're lifting. Were you made fun of and you want to show yourself?
Or why you're pushing yourself beyond your limits.
Exactly.
So were you made fun of? I didn't want to.
Is it for your family? Are you wanting to set an example for your children? And that's powerful. Okay, boom. That is something. But looking good on the beach, like, who cares? Do you even live near a beach? Like, when, is it the middle of winter? What keeps you going in winter?
I live in North
when your
Dakota.
shirt is on. It can't just be to look good for the summer. It's got to be something deeper. Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel healthy? Do you want to make an impact in your world? That is what is going to make you push to failure.
It's the
Not
emotional
looking
attachment.
good at the pool. It's the emotional attachment.
And this is all about state of mind. So if you have an emotional attachment to your why, and like Priscilla said, when we take people through this exercise, we look for their why till they cry. So it's that thing that like they want it so bad they cry over it. And as males, it's okay to like. I guess it's okay to cry.
It's passion.
It's okay to cry.
It's passion and
not
it's
okay to cry.
strength.
Don't listen to her. Don't cry ever, guys. Hide it.
Yes.
Push it down. Hide it. But you have to be able to understand why you're doing this. She's exactly right. So if you're in that state of mind and your body's, you're at 40%, it feels like you're going to die because the burn is so bad and you're so fatigued and so tired. You're like, why am I doing this? If you don't know why, you're just going to give up. If you're like, I'm going to finish this fucking set. I'm going to go farther than I ever had before because this reason right here.
And looking good is not going to be enough for you. Because when it comes down to it, you'll be like, you know what? I'll just wear a shirt at the beach. That's no big deal. Like that is just going to lead you to make more excuses to not push past that wall. However, if you have a deeper drive and purpose, that wall, you can push it over with your pinky finger and then go for the next bigger wall to push past.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, while we're talking about pushing your past, here we go. I could just tongue tie it all over again.
Okay, we're between two eclipses, so all of you that are feeling funky, that's why.
Here we go. Yeah, solar
Don't make
eclipse
me get all
on-
crazy.
What is it? The 21st?
The 21st, and then we just had a lunar eclipse
Yeah. So
on the 7th.
there's some strange shit going on in the universe.
And it did it.
They just make the banshee sound.
And just to let you guys know, there might be some zombies or werewolves roaming the street randomly.
Possibly. I've heard that's
They
probably
will
gonna
be
happen.
kicking people out of gyms that are not pushing past their walls.
The werewolves.
They will be eating them for breakfast.
It's just, so we're talking about pushing yourself past the wall every single time you're in the gym and going past failure every time you're in the gym. And I'm sure there's a handful of you guys out there like, oh, this is you're going to overtrain. This is stupid. You got all this stuff. You're going to overtrain. Fuck that. There's no such thing as overtraining. And now that same handful of people, I'm going to say it for you, you're going to say, oh, yeah, there is. There's science to back it up. Well, you know what? Fuck you and fuck your science. The science I'm talking about is 24 years of fucking experience in the gym. There's no such thing as fucking overtraining. You know when you're tired and you know when you need to recover. You need to sleep more and eat more. If you sleep enough and you eat enough, you will never overtrain. And then one guy out there is going, well, what about rhabdo? I'm like, well, that didn't exist till CrossFit, so fuck you too.
Embellish.
Embellish on
Rhabdo.
rhabdo dialysis, whatever it's called, where basically you train. So basically rhabdo was not even like a thing until CrossFit came out. And I'm not banging on CrossFit, guys. CrossFit's tough, dude. It's just not bodybuilding. And so, basically everybody gets butthurt when they're in their own little world. And, bodybuilders like, oh, CrossFit, it fucking sucks. Well, it's hard. And what was happening is that coaches, CrossFit coaches, there was I think it was basically when I looked into this, you get certified in a weekend to be a CrossFit coach, if I remember right. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So you got people that don't have a whole lot of understanding about weightlifting and so on and so forth.
I think you should do a 30-day CrossFit transformation.
I would, but I'm broken. I've got a bicep tendon that's still it's almost healed, and then I got this forearm tear, and I've got a herniated disc.
Well, then you don't get to knock it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll tell you what. When all these things heal, I'll do that. I'll totally do it because you know me. I'm down to try anything, and I don't have any problem experiencing it. I'll go do it. I got no problem doing cleans and stuff like that. I want to heal up first. But what I'm saying is that. So basically got certified in a weekend. Got these guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing when CrossFit was big, and they would just push their clients and their members past the wall, and they would just work them harder than they've ever worked in their life. But these were long ass workouts, and people ended up in the emergency room, and I don't remember the exact symptoms of rhabdo, but basically like their body just starts shutting down. Organ failure is really what starts happening. I think it's kidney failure or something where it starts, and the body just starts eating away at itself because they don't have proper nutrition. They're just going in there and doing crazy ass workouts.
And that's super extreme. What I think of with overtraining is like you don't have enough energy to function in your day. You're extremely fatigued. Maybe you're emotionally off. Maybe your brains get jumbled. I remember when I was training for competitions, I always felt like that. And I would have to take naps in the middle of the day, and I couldn't eat to compensate for all that work that I was doing because I was doing cardio in the morning, cardio at night, and heavy training sessions during the day, and then personal training all day long. And I was feeling very overtrained. So is what you're saying that I should have been eating more? I mean, obviously I couldn't during that time for dieting purposes.
That's really good. I mean, let's elaborate on this. Basically, there is no science on overtraining a muscle group where they've tracked and said, okay, this person is getting X amount of carbohydrates and this much glycogen is going into the muscle cells, and they've burned out their glycogen by this set into the workout. Because they can say, oh yeah, in 30 minutes they burn it out. Well, guess what? Everybody does shit differently. A 30-minute workout to someone listening is probably nothing like my 30-minute workout. By the time I'm 30 minutes in, dude, I've done probably 3 times the reps that most people have and more weight than most people have. So talking about volume, I do way more volume. So am I overtraining every time? I don't, obviously not.
And you're an extremist in every area. Like I would say that you're overworking. I would see, like all of those things.
So you're
just an overachiever.
But you'll say I'm overworking, but my physique says otherwise.
Oh, I'm talking about in business.
Oh, that. Well,
you just like in your life, you are an extremist and you push hard. And that's why I believe that overtraining is like a mindset thing. Overtraining is training harder than your mind can capacitate. That's not a word. Did that make sense? Capacitate.
Yeah, I want to elaborate on that too. So I was talking about there's no science that backs this up where you actually track multiple people with the glycogen stores and what exactly is overtraining. There's no science that says at this point the body will start breaking down and you miss that optimal range for building muscle. Nobody fucking knows that. There's no blueprint for bodybuilding, guys. I mean, you talk to any pro, it's all about variety, and it's knowing how to push yourself past the limit every time. And to me, and to many people on our team, overtraining is just a fucking excuse that people use because they're scared and they don't want to put in the work, or they need some sort of excuse not to work as hard as we do. And that's the easy, that's too much volume, it's overtraining. What the fuck do you guys know? I mean, seriously.
I just know that I felt like garbage sometimes, but I also know that my coach told me, he's like, oh, your legs are sore? Get out there and run.
Yeah, because it pushes lactic acid out of the muscles.
Pushes the lactic acid out. And so I feel like there is something to that, but then also I would feel extreme fatigue. I would feel nausea. So I would have some of those physical symptoms.
Well, this is
I would
training
feel
for a contest though, too, right?
Walking up the stairs and falling down the stairs on my way up to our condo that we own.
Was that pre-contest, or that just after a crazy-ass leg day?
That was pre-contest.
Okay, well, that's different because remember, you're dieting down. You're at a super low body fat than you're supposed to be at for natural functioning ability.
I got pregnant at that body. That's a fallacy because I rock that body fat all year long now, and I was 10% body fat when I got pregnant.
But it was way lower than you had been hovering at. That you're at the time, your homeostasis had you at a higher body fat percentage. So you were pushing.
Yes, my homeostasis. So just to embellish on that, we're talking about the set point that I hadn't yet set at that time.
Exactly.
But over the years, now that's my new set point.
Right.
Which woohoo.
Yeah. So woohoo to that. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, guys, fuck overtraining, man. Don't go in there with the mindset like I'm doing too much. If you think you're doing too much, do fucking more. Work hard. That's what it's about. How hard can you push yourself? And when you're totally burned out, I'm not saying be in the gym for 3 hours. I'm never there for 3 hours. I'm there for an hour and a half.
It's just not necessary.
The longest workouts I ever do are 2 hours. And that was at the end of the Unleash program for the last 2 weeks. They're like 2 hours long. It doesn't last forever. My workouts right now are about an hour and 20 minutes. But in that hour and 20 minutes, I push fucking hard. And I do tons of reps, tons of volume, and tons of weight. And when I can't do weight because I'm injured, I do more reps. And I do supersets, and I do giant sets, I do trisets, I do drop sets, whatever it takes to just completely exhaust myself so that when I'm done, I've given it all. My tank is empty. Howard says it all the time. Leave it on E, Gabe. Leave it on E. Like, drain the tank every time. And don't worry about overtraining. If you're dieting properly, if you're using proper nutrition, you're eating enough, get enough protein, get enough carbs, and you're sleeping, you're getting enough sleep, you're going to be fine. If you feel tired and totally fatigued and like you can't function, okay, take a day off. Your body will know when to do that. And if you have to take a day off a week, that's okay. If you're like me, you take a day off every 3 weeks.
And
maybe.
if you refuse to live by these standards that we're setting right now, you're going to be the first to go when the zombies come and start eating people in the gym. And you better do your cardio, and you better be ready, and you better run.
In the zombie apocalypse, you're going to be the fucking bait.
Well, we're in between the eclipses. And so I'm just saying, it's going to be zombies or it's going to be werewolves. And you're going to be the first to freaking go. So man up.
That's how we should measure everything when it comes down to training in the gym. We'll just go, in the zombie apocalypse, will you be able to outrun everybody? We'll be able to lift up a fucking car and throw it at the zombies if you need to.
Because if not, there's the door. Like, go now.
There's the door. Turn around and never come back.
Because they come here and sift out the weak ones.
This is where the functional training guys are just going to go nuts. They're like, how's that going to work in the zombie apocalypse? You're not functional.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you functional.
Oh, yeah.
You saw my Ninja Warrior course at the Rebounders Kids Trampoline
That
place.
was actually
I killed it.
Severely incredible. And can I just say something? Capacitate is a word, my friends. Like, I did go ahead and look that up. To make someone capable of a particular action or legally competent to act in a particular way. So yes, it's a word. Yes, I used it properly. And I just wanted to kind of clear my name there.
Capacitator.
Capacitate.
Yeah, good.
Capacitated.
Good. And by the way, it's something, it's total side note, since we're pretty much done. We're talking about that Rebounders place. It's a trampoline indoor trampoline place here where we live, where they've got this cool Ninja Warrior course with 3 different levels, like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And I just managed to crush the advanced course. I'm just saying. But they have this free fall thing where they got a giant airbag at the bottom. It's like 20 feet by 20 feet. And it's got to be 8 feet tall, just stuffed with air. And I think it's like a 15, maybe 20 foot. Nah, it's got to be about 15 foot free fall. So you walk out to the edge of this thing and you step off and they make you fall backwards. You step off and kind of lean back so you fall back on your back. My 5.5-year-old daughter, Mia, wanted to do it. I'm like, dude, this kid's crazy. I'm like, geez, dude, I don't like this crap. So we go up there. She looks over there. She's like, nope, I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay, do you want me to go first? I'm like, you don't have to. I'm going to do it anyway. She's like, okay, go ahead, Dad. So I get to the edge, and the guy tells us how to do it. And I'm looking over, and I'm pausing, and I'm hesitating. Dude, I'm just like, oh, shit, I don't want to do this. Like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Damn it, fuck, my kid's watching. I'm like, well, shit, my kid's watching. I got to do it. Okay, here we go.
With, like, stars in her eyes.
Dude, I took a step off. I just gave it a little jump, took a step off, and leaned back. And all of a sudden, like, I felt my stomach in my throat. And I just remember thinking, I fucking hate every moment of this. It was the worst feeling I'd ever experienced. And when I hit that mat or the airbag, I was like, oh, thank God. It was just this huge smack. I'm like, okay, I'm down. And I roll off the airbag thing, and I look at me, okay, Mia, come on down. And she looks at me, she shakes her head no. I'm like, what do you mean no? And she kind of points like to the airbag. I'm like, you want to do it? She kind of shakes her head, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, I hated that. I'm like, how's this kid going to do this? I'm like, okay. She walks to the edge and she just kind of looks. I'm like, you going to go? She nods her head, yes. She's kind of hesitating. I'm like, well, let's just get it over with. I count 1, 2, 3. And the kid fucking jumps, dude. She jumped and did it exactly. She leans back. And it's a weird feeling to step off something and lean back because you feel like you're going to hit your head. But she did it and she landed. Like the whole place, like, whoa, cool, 5-year-old, woo! And I'm like, yeah, the girl.
Talk about why power.
Yeah.
Like when
Daddy
your
did it, I
kid
gotta
is
do it.
watching you and feels empowered because of your strength and ability, there's nothing you won't do to help that child believe in themselves.
But as soon as like she came up, she just goes, I'm like, oh shit, she's hurt. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, no, I'm not hurt. I'm scared. I'm like, okay, cool. Me too. I was freaked out. But she did it. She had a why. She did it. And I was so proud of her.
Don't think, just do, right?
Don't think. Oh, that's the other thing I say all the time. Don't think, just do. I say
Yeah.
you hear that in all the videos, man. I'm just like, don't think about it, just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't give yourself a reason to come up with an excuse or tell yourself that the shit's heavy. Just pick it up and do it. You're going to be in that positive mindset, and you're going to be going, "Yep, I got this shit." Because the second you pick up the weight, you're like, "I got it," until your brain goes, "Oh wait, that's heavy."
It's crazy that you are talking about that particular scenario of you guys jumping off that platform, because there was this awesome like rip chick. She went up right behind you guys. And Mia was crying and you were consoling her. And I was like, checking out this chick. I was like, okay, let's see what you got, little mama. Like, she's probably, I don't know, 16 or 17 years old, like cutie pie. Gets up there, looks down. And she has been fearless on all the other courses. Terrified, would not jump.
Oh, no way, really?
Stood there for 15 minutes. Could not jump because she was so...
It's a long way down, dude. I was looking at like, whoa,
That's
a long way
why
down.
you almost can't think about what you're doing. You have to just do it when it comes to scenarios like this, because fear creeps in. It's that space between two thoughts, you know? You just got to just jump. Just do it.
I'm getting
Pick up the
ill
weight.
thinking about it, like thinking in that visual in my mind about how far down that was. And I'm just kidding. I hate heights. This is why I never did a ladder match in WWE, guys. I hate heights. I'm totally terrified of heights. I love roller coasters, hate airplanes, hate heights. If man were meant to fly, you know, the whole wing thing. All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys, with number 8. This is the last thing. Get on a true bulking program. And this is... It's kind of a shameless plug for Unleashed, but I'm just going to say it. It's, if you want results, get on a program, man. And it doesn't have to be ours, even though I'm talking about Unleashed. Just get on a program, because that will encourage you to go the distance. If you're going to do something, like when you spend money on something, it's like, oh shit, I spent money on that. I got to do it. Like, you know, I bought track time. I'm like, I got to go.
And you're going to get results in half the time because you actually have a program that is proven to work and has gotten hundreds of people amazing results.
Oh,
but
with
if you're
Unleashed?
trying to figure it out,
thousands, actually. Sorry.
I'm sorry, thousands of people. So if you're just figuring it out and dawdling along, your initial results are going to look something like mine did in the beginning, where I didn't have these amazing transformations because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So get on a program.
Or if you pick the one-off workout out of, you know, off the internet or out of a magazine or something, you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to do this workout every time I go.
But that's not a program.
Yeah, totally different. Like,
There's so much more to it. You've got to have your diet dialed in. You've got to have your cardio, your workouts. You've got to be your supplements. You've got to be consistently just
checking in, doing your
fueled.
body fat. You know, there's a whole system that goes to doing a program to keep you on track, where you're accountable to yourself for following through, and you measure how you're doing, and if you're not doing it right, you make adjustments along the way. But there's constant check-ins, there's constant reminders when you're looking at your phone or your computer every day, and here's your daily content that you get. Here's the video, here's the motivation that goes with it. You know, this is why our programs are so fucking successful. It's because we incorporate every element that is necessary for you to succeed. And like I said, it doesn't have to be ours, even though ours work really fucking good. Just get on a fucking program, man. Spend some money on it. And you're going to go, I don't want to spend any more money. Well, spend the fucking money. That way you've expended the cash. And it should probably be a little bit more than you are comfortable spending. Like, if you're going to go out and, you know, have a couple beers, you're going to spend $30. Well, guess what? Go spend 60 or 70 or $80 on shit. Maybe even $200 on supplements and everything else. Get it all ready. And guess what? You spent that money. You better fucking work for it. And every time you go in the gym, you're like, motherfucker, I just spent $200. Or I spent X amount of money on supplements in this program. I'm going to use it. And I'm going to get everything out of it. I'm going to squeeze that lemon until no more juice comes out. That was a hell of an analogy.
Wasn't it, though? Why are you looking at me like that, though, when you said it?
I don't know, I was thinking about the garbage disposal.
What?
I just, like, every time I squeeze a lemon, it goes down the garbage disposal, and it's something you do. Like, you put lemons in there.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
tend to put whole lemons in there, though.
I do.
And I turn the garbage disposal on, and I think it's going to explode. I'm like, what the hell is that? Is there a hand down there?
It's
Like,
freshness exploding.
an entire lemon down the garbage disposal without
Well,
cutting it up?
I don't.
It's
judge
not
you
made
for
of
your
titanium.
living choices.
It's not made of titanium. It's not made of fucking Wolverine's claws. You have to cut it up, kid.
Are we back to the zombie apocalypse
No, this
discussion?
that's an X-Men thing.
Oh, is it? I don't know the difference.
All right, guys. I'm gonna recap these real quick. This is
Let's do it like that.
This is
Okay,
8 ways
so,
to pack on lean
first
muscle.
off, you got to eat to grow. Wait, oh no, that's like Swan.
That's Mrs. Swan from Mad TV.
Oh, this is you got to eat to grow.
Well, that's the French girl.
Oh,
That was
I'm terrible at all of them.
okay. So 8 ways to pack on lean muscles.
No accent.
Muscle. Nah,
You
I'm
are
just gonna-
boring right now.
Nah. Eight ways to pack on lean. I don't have.
Oh
an
yeah,
accent.
no, do it like that. Do it like that, please.
What I'm going to do is give you 8 ways to pack on lean muscle. Okay, number 1, you need to eat to grow.
No.
Number 2, do your cardio. Number 3, I can't do this. I can't fucking do this.
Okay. So
I
switch now. The next one, Donald Duck.
No. Yeah,
Be consistent.
can't. My mouth is so dried out. I've got cotton mouth. All right, number 1, eat to grow. Number 2, do your cardio. Number 3, be consistent. For fuck's sake, please be consistent. Number 4, increase the intensity in your workouts over time.
Hey.
Number 5, focus on the mind-muscle connection rather than weight. Number 6, use supplements. Spend the money, use supplements. Number 7, push yourself beyond the limits every time you train, every time you walk into the gym, every time you do your cardio. Go in there with the mindset that you are going to crush it. And you're going to work harder than you did the week before or the session before. And finally, number 8, get on a program. It doesn't have to be ours. If it is going to be ours, you want to pack on lean muscle mass, do the Unleash program. If you need to get shredded, you got a lot of body fat you want to ditch before you bulk up and get huge, do Genesis. If you're a female and you want to get lean and shredded, look for the Revolution program that should have been out at the beginning of August. We're running behind. Sorry, guys. It's coming out any day now.
And those of you ladies that are looking to bulk, Unleashed will crush it for you as well.
Dude, I've seen so many females that I'm so shocked because I didn't initially design Unleash for females, but the females are doing it and they're
the
crushing
ladies
it.
love it. And my husband's hot. So you get to watch videos.
It's my Jack Skellington bandana, isn't it?
It's just the whole package.
And she said package. And on that note, guys, thank you for joining us. We will catch you next time. For more free information on fitness, nutrition, and bodybuilding, visit us at www.bodyspartan.com.